Hey, afternoon, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about fear. This is one of my favorite subjects, and believe me, this is something that many people had to speak into me, what I'm going to speak into you. So I'm going to talk about fear. I'm not talking about fear, hi Anne, I'm not talking about fear of like the boogeyman, fear of heights, fear of drowning, whatever. Although those are fears, I am talking to you today about the fear of being creative, or the fear of just growing on the inside and just being a better version of yourself. Now, let me start out by telling you that fear is going to, hi Jacqueline, hi Robin, fear is going to be in constant, a provoking mode between confidence and creativity and fear. They are always going to be at odds. So if you can remember that, when you are on the verge of doing something very creative or something that is you growing personally, you can be sure, hi Nikki, that fear is going to be right there ready to shoot it down. It's just the way it is. And a lot of times it's just between you and I saying, no, fear, it's okay, you're there, but this is what I'm going to do. So let me start out by saying though, and I'm just as guilty of this. In fact, probably somebody in my somewhere in my cupboard, there's a mug that says fearless, or there's a shirt. I'm sure there's a shirt back in my closet because I was notorious for buying them that said fearless. Here's the deal. None of us are ever fearless. And if we are not fearful, then we should be very fearful of that. And here's why. Fear goes right hand in hand with your next best thing. Hear me out. You should never be fearless. Fear should always be a little bitty nagging thing in the back of your mind, because it's usually the next step before some huge breakthrough. In fact, there's a saying that goes something like, your biggest breakthroughs usually happen right after your breakdowns. So, don't tell yourself you're fearless. Tell yourself you're courageous. You're creative. That's just a reality. Fear is always going to be there. So sometimes we tell ourselves stories about why we can't do something, and stories and fear are such good friends. And I'm going to give you some examples, and you tell me, grab my coffee, you tell me if any of these sound familiar. Now these are just a few, but I'm sure, because I could come up with hundreds of more. But let me ask you if any of these stories sound familiar. And stories are usually things you tell yourself so you don't do the next best thing. Do you ever tell yourself, I'm too old to do that. I could never start ABC because I'm too old. I could never start that new business. I could never open my own, I could never be an author. I could never be a blogger because I'm too old. Hi Christine, hi Danny. Do you ever tell that story to yourself? Because fear loves that. Conversely, have you ever said, I'm too young to do that. No one would ever take me serious. You know, why would they listen to me when they can talk to someone that's been around the block and knows what they're doing? Have you ever said this story? Have you ever told yourself this story like, you know, I've tried that so many times and I've had so many jobs in my life. Why do I think this is going to be any different? That's a story you've told yourself. And fear operates, hi Whitney, fear operates out of that story. Here's one that I've actually told myself, and I'm sure many of you have. And it says something like this, I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough. There's so many people out there that they've gone to school for this, or you know, they've got an MBA, or they've got a master's, or they've done marketing classes or whatever. That's a story that I've told myself in the past, and then fear hitchhikes a ride on that story, and it goes wild. So think to yourself, what stories have you told yourself? And then you operate out of those stories, those fears, and you cut off creativity and a growth in yourself. So here is a little activity that I heard a long time ago, and I've sort of changed it up a little bit to Lynn style. The activity that I heard a long time ago is to pretend that fear is in the back seat of your vehicle. Put them in the back seat of your vehicle and say, you know what, I'm driving this vehicle anymore, and you're not. But here's what I like to say. I like to pretend that fear is sitting right next to me. I love my morning quiet time. I love my coffee. I love getting candles started, and I love sitting in the dark. And I will say, come on over here, fear. And I'm telling you that this is new for me in the last year or two. But I'll say, come sit down, fear. Let me tell you, thank you so much for caring enough, for hanging out with me all this time. Thank you. But you know what? You have been center stage for way too long in my life. And now it's time for you to move over, and it's my turn to shine. So you get to decide. Tell yourself that story. Don't tell the stories that don't let you grow. Tell stories to fear and say, sorry, take a back seat. You don't get a pick if we're going to McDonald's, and you don't get a pick if we're going to Starbucks anymore. I'm the driver. And then I'll say to the fear that's sitting on the couch with me, you just stay there. I've got this under control. Thanks for caring for me all these years, but I'm not interested anymore. So you can say whatever you want, but make fear sort of a companion, not a friend, but a companion. I want you to take this right. Don't ever think fear is going to go away. Remember, we're not fearless, we're courageous. So here is a quote I want to leave you guys with, and I'm going to read it because I don't memorize very well. So here it is. It's from Eleanor Roosevelt. So you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the things which you think you cannot do. Those are indications that the next best thing is right on this doorstep for you. I promise you, your biggest breakdowns, your biggest fears are right on the doorstep of your biggest breakthroughs. So if you got any value out of this video, you guys, I'm telling you, people tell me this. What I just told you, I've read, I've studied, people have spoken to me, and I don't know why it is, but I feel like I have I have to tell people. That's just me. I'm sort of weird like that. So I have to pay it forward, because if it helps one other person to be the best that they can be in this world, then it's a win-win situation. It's a win for me, and it's a win for them. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Share this video. If you got any value out of it, share it. It's just a little share. Not for me, but who can be helped by this? And then here's something that I was going to do. Here's another paying it forward. I love this book, The War of Art. Really, really, really easy read. I mean, you could read this in a day if you really wanted to. But it's The War of Art. Break through the blocks and win your inner creative battle. Here's the deal. I have a copy, this copy. I've already read a different one. I have this copy to give to people. I'm going to put it in a drawing, put their name in a drawing if they share this video. If they share this video with their friends and write the word share in the comment section so I know whose name to put in a drawing, this book could be yours. The War of Art. It's really popular. Maybe you've read it. If you have, well, then I'm sorry. Maybe you can get it and pass it on to somebody else. But anyway, that's it. If you got any value, share, share, share. I thank you so much for listening today. Enjoy your Tuesday, and I will be back on here again. Bye.